You ever had a crappy job?
Yeah, plenty of them.
What did it feel like to have a crappy job?
I mean, most of the time, crappy jobs are not fun to do and don't pay very much.
Would you ever describe that as being a wage slave?
I mean, I guess that's fair.
You ever had fun being a wage slave?
No. I
No
haven't.
fun, huh? You ever coordinated with your friends?
What do you mean? Like,
with being a wage slave? You ever had some good coordination?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Build good teamwork.
That's good. Well, this woman here, Miss Zoe Williams, she says, video games have turned my kids into wage slaves, but without the wages. Yeah.
Wow.
Dropping the slave word on us here.
That is...
Yeah.
Wow. That's an article?
Article at The Guardian. And she's got some assertions here and she's got some opinions and a perspective that I just feel very weird about.
Okay.
Yeah. So, right off the bat, the article is, it just gives me the impression that she's maybe disconnected with her children. And I wonder if she's ever spoken to her kids about their experiences playing video games.
Okay.
Because she introduces, her 3 children, obviously not their names, but their ages and the games they play. They play, an 11-year-old plays Fortnite, 13-year-old plays Genshin Impact.
What a weeb.
And another one plays Hitman.
Hitman?
Yeah.
How old is this child? Because that is a mature rated video game. Sounds like she's a bad parent.
She says Mr. Z, so maybe that's her husband or something.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she describes Genshin Impact as a whimsical open world environment game, and then she says whatever the hell that means.
Wow.
Like,
talk about out of touch.
Yeah, like, did she even bother trying to understand what her kid finds enjoyable about this game?
Why would they even run this article?
Well, because it's a mom concerned about video games, and they're gonna get clicks from other moms that are like, video game bad. My kids play video games, and I don't know how to talk to them, so video game bad.
Yeah,
that's the vibe I'm getting, honestly, from this, and I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, but it's like this article's coming across as a little out of touch and just a little like venting.
Yeah, sounds like it.
She says, watching her kids playing video games, she said she feels like a manager of a high-tech sweatshop.
A high-tech sweatshop?
Yeah, a high-tech sweatshop.
Dude, that is not okay.
That's the part that made me think, like, are you talking to your kids? Like, are you just watching them and just like being quiet and getting your jimmies rustled? I know that's the third time I've said that, but that's the theme of the week, I guess.
Yeah,
some rustled jimmies.
Rustling them jimmies.
Like,
wow, dude.
So have you ever seen a sweatshop?
Not in person, but
you've seen some videos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had one described to you.
Yeah.
When you say a house full of preteens playing video games is gonna be like a sweatshop?
No.
Granted, now I don't know these kids. But, I mean, I know video game culture and the games that she's talking about. And,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, they're all playing games that are, aside from the husband, are free to play.
Mm-hmm.
And free to play games can seem like work sometimes. Because in order to get out of buying the thing, you have to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that aspect, but that is some pretty gross exaggerating.
She's going way deep on it.
Yeah.
So... And like you said, her fear, she says she's not afraid of them becoming addicted or getting enough fresh air or whatever, or the life lessons they may or may not be learning. She says it's too much like work, doing task-driven, repetitive, monotonous, but immersive, and sometimes frustrating things.
I mean, she's not wrong.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong, but the point that I had is she's leaving out the key ingredient to this whole situation.
Fun?
Fun! These kids are having fun.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking you at the beginning of the situation. Like, have you ever had a job? Did you ever have fun while you were doing it? Mm-hmm. Even though it was task-driven, repetitive. Sometimes it can be monotonous, but boy, I can guarantee you these kids are having a ball.
Right. So, one thing that does come to mind is, you ever been in a situation where you're playing a game and it's really frustrating you, you're getting really mad, and then later on, somebody asks you how your experience was. Like, the people that enjoy the Soul series, they sit there and they break controllers, and then when asked about it, they're like, "Oh yeah, it was great."
Yeah. It was like, I had a good time.
Yeah.
And when you finally beat that boss, you're like, "Oh, you feel so good."
Yeah. No, I've been in that situation where it's just rage.
Yeah.
and then the relief you get when you finally have victory.
Yeah.
You finally get that chicken dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Victory Royale.
Yes, sir.
The numero uno.
Numero uno.
It feels good.
Oh,
it's worth
primo. Yeah, exactly. And that's what the theme keeps popping in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, is she talking to her kids? Does she understand them?
I mean, we can't
I feel
assume.
like no. I feel like no, based off of her reaction.
I mean, what are the kids gonna say? It's just fun, Mom.
Or maybe, or like, hey, there was another article I read, and I'll link it down below of another mom who had a completely different experience with video games.
Okay.
She drew closer to her kids, understood them better, and, improved her relationship with her kids because, you know what she did?
What did she do?
Took an interest in their relationship with video games. Ask them questions. What's your favorite video games? What do you like about it?
Sounds like my mom.
Right. And so it's like, instead of feeling like a manager of a high-tech sweatshop,
I love that. High-tech sweatshop.
Yeah.
Just imagine like all those video footages you've seen in sweatshops, except the robot people, like cyborg people. And there's like neon everywhere and RGB.
Yeah. Just RGB. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So just because I've seen those other stories, and I've seen what these parents did to kind of bridge the gap between their children and the results that they had.
Yeah.
I feel like Miss Williams did not do those things.
No.
And maybe could benefit from doing those things. And maybe avoid writing these boomer articles.
It is a very boomer article.
Such a boomer article. Like, video games, my kids are wage slaves. Like,
that's so
chill, mommy, chill.
The language of it is so extra.
Just
you didn't have to say that. That didn't need to be. I mean, I guess it worked because we're talking about it.
Yeah.
That is just so much.
What I'm afraid of is I feel like some other mom is going to read this.
Yeah.
And then like apply this without critically thinking about the behaviors her children are experiencing or, what's going on in their lives. And they're going to just be like, yeah, video games do make kids into wage slaves. And then there's going to be some tension there because she read this article. And now she associates Fortnite with wage slavery. And then, there's going to be a lot of FU moms. And there's going to be some broken Xboxes. Some Wi-Fi passwords changed.
Oh, Lord.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, we've seen plenty of that.
Oh, yeah.
I bought this Xbox. I'm going to destroy it.
Oh, yeah. Where's the lawnmower?
Yeah. Right. Those are the best. I mean, they're terrible. I feel bad for the kids, but also kind of entertaining.
I can't. It breaks my heart.
You ever seen
those videos?
There's an older YouTube channel. I don't remember the name of it. Sorry if you're watching this. Doubt you are. But anyway, the dude just puts a bunch of stuff in microwaves and like all the game consoles.
Oh my gosh!
Like I remember when the PS5 first came out, he put a PS5 in a microwave, and it's just
triggered. Yeah. I am so triggered. Maybe that could have been my PS5.
Do you want a piece of tech? Do you want to see it being destroyed in front of you?
No. Like another channel like that, like Jerry Rig Everything. He does all these durability tests on smartphones and stuff. I can't stand to watch it.
Really?
It hurts me. Like he scratches them with like knives and picks and tries to bend them and like
better him than me.
Yeah. Oh,
that's all I'll say.
So yeah, but yeah. So one thing that I did find quite interesting about this article though is she ends up saying in the last paragraph, the best solution I've come up with is to find a game of my own. Where she says she's been picking up 5 Nights at Freddy's.
That's literally a...
So she says it's nothing like having a job.
Bro, it's about having a job.
It's nothing like having a job.
Are you kidding?
It's like being trapped in a nightmare that's much more real than any of my nightmares. I love it. Zoe Williams, what's wrong? What's going on with you?
That game is literally about taking a impoverished job.
Yeah, well, yeah. Zoe Williams doesn't think so.
What? It's like, not only are we going to pay you minimum wage, evil robots.
Yeah.
That are going to eat you.
So
that makes it okay. Because you're scared. What?
The last thing I wanted to touch on this article is this part where she says...
I'm dumbfounded.
Oh, I completely skipped over a whole nother point she made. She says it's too much like work and that she's afraid her kids are losing this point of their childhood where you have, this is a quote, you have those years outside of the productive economy where no one thinks to measure your worth by the net value you create, where all you have to do is grow and be endearing.
Okay.
which sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
that's kind of what childhood is.
Sure, why not? But
Where's the problem?
But
Isn't that their time?
exactly. And I think she's got this picture of a childhood that she wants them to have
Mm-hmm.
that's counter to the childhood that they're growing into naturally.
I mean, I wonder what would be the alternative. Learn an instrument?
Mm-hmm.
Or, I don't know.
Well, that's a good one.
Get real good at swimming?
What's the difference between that and, sports? Putting them in band, right? In theater.
Yeah.
A little bit different, but I mean, come on, it's there's tasks. You're measured by what you can create or produce.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these aren't young kids, 11, 12, 13 years old. They need to start learning how to, because, okay, what do you want your kid to be when they grow up? You want them to be useful, right? That's the whole point of living in a society.
Yeah.
You got to be useful.
I want them to be happy.
But yeah, but how do you be happy? You're not going to be happy if you're useless and nobody wants to deal with you.
I don't know.
That's the question. I'm just
saying,
what is
happy?
But it's hard to be happy and useless.
Yeah, that's fair. Providing services does spark joy.
It sparks joy for you. It makes people happy to be around you.
Happy?
Exactly. So,
but I will
learning to be
a quick note to that. You and I did the theater thing in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was like having a job.
Yeah.
Every day we got out of school, we had to go to work.
Wasn't that great?
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fantastic.
I enjoyed it.
I loved it.
But it was work.
Yeah. It was hard. It was, sometimes it was repetitive because what's memorizing lines?
Incredibly repetitive.
Sometimes monotonous, wouldn't you say?
A bit, yes.
But when you got on stage and the theater was full of people,
it was all worth it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But it was like work.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a paycheck, we got applause.
Exactly. Hang on. Sometimes.
Were we wage slaves?
Were we wage slaves without the wages? Oh, whoa.
Would you call it a cyberpunk sweatshop?
A cyberpunk sweatshop?
Or was that just what went on up here?
Yeah, I don't know.
With all the RGB and, what are they making, Teslas?
High-tech sweatshop. They're making iPads, bro.
iPads.
Jumping out of roofs in the nets.
Is that the ones where they have all the nets outside the building?
Foxconn? Yeah.
It's horrible.
Company. So the final thing I'll say about that is I feel like she feels like her kids learning to identify objectives and achieve goals is somehow depriving them of her vision of a good childhood. I just where all they have to do is grow in being endearing. Mm-hmm. And also, what does it mean to grow? Right? And that's why I asked, what do you want to be? You're a child, that means you're basically training to be an adult.
Oh, that's so weird to think about. But
yeah,
I
mean,
right.
It's true. You have to learn how to operate in the world. You have to grow, right? And the part of growing is slowly taking on more and more adult activities so that you can be... the goal is when you die, you want your children to be able to take care of themselves. And they have to slowly build those skills.
Right.
And part of those skills can be learned through games like Fortnite. Coordination, being dependable, being able to provide value, being able to... communicate effectively, which all these team-based tactical shooter games, it provides those skills, or at least gives you the opportunity to grow those skills.
I personally attribute a lot of my problem-solving skill to video games.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Magic the Gathering, for me, biggest thing.
Really?
There's a lot of strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think about a lot. Mm-hmm. You have to think about, what your opponent's going to do. You have to do a lot of math, sometimes a lot of quick math.
A lot of math.
Mm-hmm. A lot of
math,
not
a lot of reasoning. Math.
Yeah. Math, reasoning, and logic.
Yeah.
You need a lot of it in these strategy video games.
I just think the whole thing, if you read that last stanza.
The last paragraph?
Yeah.
Super weird.
It's just this whole thing. Yeah, we ain't going to worry about that. We're going to worry about I'm doing it too.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe that gives me hope. And what I really wish this article was 2 more paragraphs long.
Really?
Yeah. Because she comes in, it seems like she's kind of coming around. She says, the first line of the last paragraph is the best solution I've come up with is to find a game of my own. I want to know, well, what? Well, what did you think about that? Since you started playing Five Nights at Freddy's.
She just said she's playing it. She didn't say how she felt about it.
She says, I love it. That's 3 words. But how does that affect, but that doesn't tell me anything about how you
relations with her children?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Is she hey, Foxy's scary, right?
Yeah, I need at least 1 or 2 more paragraphs.
Imagine if her kids being Zoomers are we don't play Five Nights at Freddy's anymore. That was 3 years ago.
I don't know. I feel like she needs to talk to her kids. That's sort of the biggest thing that I'm feeling like.
You got a problem? Talk to your kids.
Talk to your kids. Don't beat your kids.
You don't understand.
Don't write weird articles about your kids.
Yeah. Imagine the kid. She has her name on this article.
Mm-hmm.
She's at a PTA meeting or whatever. Kids, the other children learn that Billy and Tommy's mom are. She's raging on the Guardian, just going full
boomer.
Karen mode.
Full boomer Karen is what I'm saying.
Is Karen one of those words we can't say on Twitch?
I don't know.
That sounds like something they would do. Oh, you can't call people Karens.
Yeah.
How long till I blow up and everybody show love? How long until I'm laughing at my critics like told ya? How long till I grow up? Stop drinking till I throw up? How long until the devil come to collect on what I sold him? What actually happens when you drown genius in acid? What would my baby mama say if I make $1 million off this rapping? What would the friends I made in the Navy say if they heard CS2 snapping? What would the man inside the mirror say if he ever caught me?